Okay, so this is the seventh part of our following tutorial series, data structures and algorithm. So in today's episode, I'm going to cover the inserting procedure of the arrays. So as I mentioned before in the previous episode, uh, we have six major basic operations corresponding to the arrays. So now we have completed traversing an array. So we are going to a new topic, which is the inserting element to arrays. So in that part, we have to discuss the inserting an element to the end of the array and insert element to the middle of the array. So first, let's see how do we implement a particular value to the end of the array. So as you can see, here is the basic structure uh, of an array. So in here, the upper bound will remain as 4 because it has only 5 elements. So if we want to implement new value at the end, then it should be implemented at the 5th index. So here is the pseudocode for it. It's very easy, which is first we have to initialize the upper bound of the array. Then we can increase it by 1 in order to uh, placement the next value at the 5th index. Then we can place or we can insert that corresponding element to that position which we have just created. Okay, so this is how the C code looks like after we implementing the corresponding pseudocode as an uh, as a programming code. So let's move to that part. Okay, so first we can include our preprocessor stdio.h. Then we can define our max value as 10. Then our void main function. Then some kind of array to store our to implement our array. So I'll say 2, 5, 8, 10, 1 as the default values. So in here I have 5 elements, which means the upper bound is 4. So let's define another variable to the upper bound. So in this case, upper bound remain the 4 because it has only 5 elements. And I can derive another variable in order to get some input and store it with that corresponding variable. So first I can print enter number to get input from the user. Then scanf, which means I'm storing that corresponding decimal value uh, to the number variable. After getting that input, first we can check whether there is a relevant space having this array, because imagine we have array with consisting 10 elements, which is actually we so 10 elements. So the array is full, which means we can't implement another new values to that array. So there will be overflow. So in order to avoid that issue, first we can check whether that corresponding array is empty or not. So in order to do that, we can implement if statement, simple if statement. So first we should look out that our upper bound is less than max value. If it is not less than max value, which means it is equal to upper bound is equal to max value or it's greater than max value, basically there will be an overflow. So we can print array is full or array is overflowing. If it is not, which means we have a proper space to store values, therefore we can increase upper bound by 1, then store the number in that newly created position. Okay, so now we have successfully implemented our insertion code, and also for developing purposes we can check whether our value is successfully integrated or not. In order to do that, we can simply print our array by using this for loop. So I'll print only for the upper bound range because we haven't implemented 10 elements, complete 10 elements to the array. So it is better only printing array until to the upper bound. Otherwise there will be printing any weird values because our array hasn't been implemented successfully completed yet with the amount of full values. So this is how we print our array. I'll make some tab space and right. Okay, let's compile. Okay, there is an error somewhere. Okay, so I haven't defined our I variable over here, so I'll define it and compile it again. Okay, so no errors. Then run. Okay, so it asking for enter number. So I have already implemented 2, 5, 8, 10, 1 into the array. So let's implement maybe 23 and press enter. Okay. Okay, so the problem is here. The array is only printing up until to the upper bound. It is not printing upper bound because the condition says it should be printing values until to the upper bound. So in order to print upper bound also, we should declare equal sign over here. Otherwise this for loop will not go until to the this newly implemented element range. So we can put equal sign over here, then compile it again and run it again. Now enter 23. Now it printing our new value also. So this is how basically you implemented insertion method in by using arrays.